Good morning and welcome to the video for Tuesday, May the 12th. This is going to be our lesson video for 6th grade. Today we are going to be continuing this idea of working with mean absolute deviation and talking about two other ways that we can measure the variability of something. So again, when we're looking at variability, we are looking at how spread out data values are within a data set. So for our unlock the problem, we're trying to figure out what the mean absolute deviation is for this. So they've already given us the mean of 57. So I went ahead and wrote this in. You can if you choose to, but let's jump down to finding the actual thing that we're asking for in the problem. So as we go throughout the lesson, I've written the means down for, I believe, every single problem just to save a little bit of time for you. Because if you end up adding the values incorrectly and you get the wrong mean, then that is going to mess up what we're working with. So 58 minus 57 is going to give us 1. You get another 1, 2, 3, 2. And then always a good idea to double check. I occasionally write the wrong numbers down when I'm subtracting if I'm working too quickly. So I've got 5, 10, 12. So 12 divided by 6 is going to give me an mean absolute deviation of 2, and we are working with inches. And so that part would also go down there. So the other two things that we're working with today are range and interquartile range. So the range of something is going to be the distance between the largest value and the smallest value in our set of data points. And so we can just do a simple subtraction problem to find that. So for instance, 150 minus 24, that's going to give us 126. We are going to be talking about how these values compare from store A to store B, so don't worry about writing anything down for that. There could be two possible things depending on how you read that. So for store B, we're working with 120, and we are going to subtract 30. And so that is going to give us a range of 90 for that. And so the range for store B is going to be smaller than the range for store A. Or we could say the range for store A is greater than the range for store B, depending on which one we're asking to compare to the other. And then for the interquartile range, we are looking at the distance between the value for our upper quartile to the value for our lower quartile. So 72 minus 48 would give us a total of 24. And so for our other one, we are looking at 100 minus 42, which would give us a value of 58. And so one of the things that end up working out for this is we have a larger range, but a smaller interquartile range. For store B, we have a smaller range, but a larger interquartile range. And so sometimes there will be a correlation to that we can expect, sometimes not. So we're just kind of looking that just because one of these things is bigger doesn't mean both of them will be. So store A has a greater range, but store B has a greater interquartile range. I'm just going to abbreviate that IR, which you will see written on a couple places possibly throughout the lesson and for the homework. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at our share and show problem. So to start with, we need to go ahead and give the values for what we're going to use for the range. So we're going to have 19 minus 7 to get a value of 12 for our range. For our interquartile range, we are going to be doing 15 minus 12, which is going to give us an interquartile range of 3. So for number 2, number 3, number 4, 5, or sorry, not 4 and 5, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8, I've given you the mean as well as the number of data points. For number 8, I also wrote those out in order from least to greatest. So what I'm going to ask you to do is go ahead and pause the video and work through these problems on your own, see what you come up with, and then when you're ready, go ahead and unpause the video so that we can go ahead and talk through the answers. So Assuming that you've done that, let's go ahead and talk through what we've got. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find all my 18s and kind of scratch these out real quick. So I'm not trying to do anything with those. This is going to give me a value of 2. This is going to give me a value of 2. It's going to give me a value of 1, value of 2, and a value of 1. So I'm going to have 8 over 8, which is going to give me a mean absolute deviation of 1 inch. So for number 3, I don't have anything that's exactly on the mean. So what we are going to do is go ahead and write down our values. So 14, 6, 2, 14, 14, and, or sorry, that one should be 10. And then the last one is 14. I was looking ahead. There we go. All right, so we've got 20, 2, 4, and 4 gives me 30, 40, 50, 60. So 60 divided by 6 is going to give us a mean absolute deviation of 10 seconds. For number 4, the range for our data, we are going to be going from 56 back to 32. And so that would give us 56 minus 32, which is $24. The interquartile range is going to go from 52 all the way back to 36, which would be $16. For number 6, we are looking at a mean absolute deviation here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of line through the ones I'm not going to use and write my values over top of the others. And so I'm going to get 8 over 8 again, which is going to give me a mean absolute deviation of 1. So for my last one, we don't have anything that's even remotely close. Everything's really spread out on this. We only have one that's actually kind of close. So my 10s are going to be worth 5. My 9s are going to be worth 4. My 1 6 will be worth 1. My 2 will be worth a value of 3 from the as far as the deviation is concerned. And then all of my 1s are worth 4 each. And so that's going to give me 7, 11, 16, 20, 30, 38. I believe. Let me check that one more time. 7, 11, 16, 20, 29, 30, 34, 38. So that comes out to 3.8. Let's see. So for number 8, we are working with a mean of 22. And so if I want to go ahead and find my values to get the mean absolute deviation going, let's see, that would give me 6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 10. And that's going to give me 10, 20, 30, 36. And 36 divided by 10 will give me a not standard. I keep wanting to say that. Mean absolute deviation of 3.6. The range is going to go from 32 back to 16, which is going to be a value of 16. And we should be using dollars for each of these. So $16, pretend I drew one in there. And then our interquartile range, we are working with 20 and 24. For our value for our upper and lower quartiles, so that would give us $4, and that is probably the worst looking dollar sign I've ever drawn. Understandable considering I'm working with a mouse. So for our homework problems, let's go ahead and talk through those real quick. I have given you all of the means that you need to know. So it's just a matter of kind of reading the question, finding the values, and plugging in the numbers that you need to go ahead and find those. I will tell you that for number 8, the range should be rather easy because we have all the numbers written from least to greatest, and the interquartile range as well. So these 3 numbers are going to factor in for the interquartile range. For the lower quartile, and these 3 numbers will factor in for the upper quartile. Everything on the back, again, you can do. So for number 2, there's not a number written down here. You just need to put all 8 numbers in order from least to greatest. The left-hand 4 numbers will give you your lower quartile, and the right-hand 4 numbers will give you your upper, and then everything else you should be able to do. Again, mode is a number that's going to be repeated, and for number 6, they already provide you the mean. So all you need to do is calculate the mean absolute deviation with that. So those are the problems for today, including a quick walkthrough of the homework. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out in Google Classroom. The homework video for this will be coming out on Wednesday morning. So again, after you've had a chance to watch that, if you still have any questions, Risen Christ students, please reach out to me. I think I forgot to mention, but Risen Christ students, you are doing evens on the front, 1 and 2 on the back for the homework. So that includes the long one where you have to give all 3 different things using the information that's provided. So hope you have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.